You know me, I like to stick to the facts, and I know that Masons are heavily involved in this. And one thing that doesn't sit well with me is the lack of solid proof of their involvement. However, we know that they're involved by default because that's the whole purpose of Masonry: social engineering, operating behind the scenes. But one thing for sure is that the military is concerned with the internal organization of America. So when you look at this, right, there's a lot of overlap here. The military wants to kind of hold the order where rich men get the attractive women. That is the way of capitalism. And people who don't conform effectively don't get the stragglers, if you will, the women who are attractive and poor, or, the rich men, for whatever reason, haven't recruited or, staked a claim on. So when it comes to political dissidents, they're very concerned with sabotaging my love life. This is how it is, okay? So when you look at this thing, right, you have the secret societies, the military, the intelligence community. They're all concerned with sabotaging my love life and denying me my rightful place in society. It's very interesting how that works because it's in direct conflict with my sacred morality and my cultural beliefs about who deserves women the most. I try to spell this out for you. You should buy the U.S. Army Guerrilla Warfare Handbook, the Department of the Army, the one I always show. Give you the year of this. This is from copyright 2009 by Skyhorse Publishing. Okay. So, this Department of the Army, U.S. Army Guerrilla Warfare Handbook: raids and ambushes, communication, psychological operations, demolition, counterintelligence, mining, and sniping. And then read Fighting for Honor, the history of African martial art traditions in the Atlantic world. I guarantee you the people running the PSYOP have read both of these books because I refer to them so much. It's part of their due diligence, period. The main people involved in my PSYOP, the PSYOP against me, right, have read these things thoroughly, and they understand the difference between their philosophy and mine. They know that I'm right, and they know that they're wrong. But they're gonna play their part, just like, a criminal would or something. But anyway, when you look at this thing, right, it proves definitively that most people are conformists, the vast majority, and almost, you can pretty much safely say that 100% of attractive women are conformists. Right now I'm doing a study, and I'm going to put the results out later on, that shows that attractive women are inferior forms of life, which is interesting because it directly contradicts a study that they claim, that gang. So for the impact it has, I'm actually having a woman who disagrees with me about my standards, doing the study. And as part of my hypothesis is that I predict that she will come to my point of view eventually between the study and me talking to her. But she is adamant about her views because she actually has a crush on me. She's admitted it many times. And then she goes back and pretends like it's not the case because I guess she doesn't want to feel vulnerable or something, okay? And, to make a long story short, I'm not attracted to her. She's a nice person, but, And so she feels that I should lower my standards. And you're going to see that time and time again. There's two groups of people that disagree with me. One, those who have vested interests with the elite, unattractive women, feminists, the rich, etc., to, people in secret societies, to sabotage the uncontrolled political dissidents' love life. and the love life of any attractive man who is not in a secret society. Now think about this. We all know that naturally attractive men would get the attractive women. Kind of like when you're younger, right? Oh, she has a crush on you and kind of thing, right? So in order for the bootlickers and the rich to take what naturally they would not have, they have to find a way to cheat people like me out of what they would naturally have. And so a lot of people pick up on this, right? And unattractive women especially. They say, well, let's just play the game because then we can prey on these guys. And that's why, basically unattractive women are vultures. They are predators. They are sexual predators. They're just not going to see it that way. And attractive women are inferior forms of life because it is so blatantly obvious what is going on. They couldn't possibly miss it. It's like they're being thrown at all the traitors to God and humanity, all the secret society cowards, all the military scum, the cops who have technology who, spy on women and happen to run into them and happen to, holler at them. There's a very deliberate, eugenic dating mechanism going on here where, the clean-cut kind of military police officer type who is very much normal is desired by women. The secret society people who know how to be the popular kind of guy, who are the bootlickers, the cowards, the complete pussies that work with the elite, are popular with women. The governing class, the rich, the celebrities, all these people who should be, hated by society, the object of their scorn, get the attractive women that righteous men of God should have. So when you look at the difference between the U.S. Army Guerrilla Warfare Handbook, the Internal Organization of America, that makes it 100% clear that they don't passively reinforce social norms. They actively. And when you look at the history of the Cold War and everything, it makes it 100% clear that intelligence agencies have worked with celebrities and other groups like the Ford Foundation since the 50s. Ironically, around the time MK Ultra started, in the 50s, and the Ford Foundation came out, and that's not a coincidence. And they've worked together to maintain the internal organization of America based on Masonic principles and philosophies, because the Masons are some of the main people with the other college secret societies who are the active members of think tanks that help the elite come up with their control mechanism. And there's a lot of women involved and a lot of gays, and they do it in a way that is beneficial to them as well. And this all should really be common sense. It's just when you think about it and you break it down like that, right, you're forced to the point of view that, no, I don't need to lower my standards. Women need to raise their standards, and not according to a Babylonian scale, but according to a natural scale and a fair scale. Okay? We talk about being fair. What is fair is to not do the bidding of Babylon, is to give people what is rightfully theirs, what is naturally theirs, and what would otherwise be theirs if there wasn't a bunch of rich cheaters and complete cowards who roll with them, cheating them out of what is rightfully theirs. This is a cheating society, okay? Secret societies are also called cheating societies by those of us in the know, those of us who have done our due diligence. We're like, look, these people are the enemy, okay? And you'll get a lot of these cowards in secret societies who talk about doing their due diligence because that's part of what they do in those secret societies. They share information and bring each other to their point of view, by degrees. And it is impossible to study and read a lot and to become an active thinker, a deductive reasoner, and to miss that this is cheating, okay? That what they're doing is cowardice, selfishness, and cheating. You don't join secret societies and say, well, we're right and this needs to be done. No, you're made aware very quickly that what you're doing is despicable, and you're a coward for still doing it. But you also are part of this culture that's downplaying that. You're focusing on the spoils and not on the means, right? The ends justify the means is pretty much the main secret society philosophy, though they'll never admit it. Just complete, pitiful cowardice. And that's why they've been harassing me ever since my top martial arts challenge began. They've been harassing me, trying to take what is rightfully mine away from me, just like they took women away from me all my life. I mean, even if I wasn't a Christian, I would still come to this point of view, because these are the lowly dogs whose system that they uphold actively, as much as they can, to the best of their ability, has denied me what is rightfully mine as a tall, dark, and handsome man in society. And when you look at what women want physically from a man, I fit the criteria to a T. You know, tall, dark, and handsome. They say, we want a tall guy. Yes, height does matter, right? They say things like this. So, you know, then when you look at my other studies where I got an average of 8.4 when asked women, but yet a lot of them weren't interested in me, and many of them admitted it was because I wasn't rich, in their words, okay? You pretty much, because of feminists like Anna Akana or whatever her name is, you have this kind of feminist movement to not slut shame, don't gold digger shame, and to make it socially normative, or socially acceptable rather, to be a gold digging whore. Now, I talk about these things a lot because this is a major, major problem. You know, for them to take the money, that's very, very bad. But it is actually worse for them to take the women. These are human beings. These are not objects. And yet they are going to say, don't objectify us, while they are willingly being objectified in order to get more money and thus get more power for their feminist groups. And the biggest faction of Masonry, obviously, is the Eastern Star, as a result of co-Masonry, or, you know, dual gender Masonry, or unisex Masonry, or, you know, Masonry that includes both men and women. So you see this slowly but surely happening, is that we're moving more and more toward a gynocentric society. And it is not uncontrolled gynocentrism. It is Masonic gynocentrism. It is secret society, occult gynocentrism. It is a disgrace. You know, basically they've decided that we live in an age where the cheaters prosper, and they want women to be the main cheaters. They have no intention on changing anything. They want to boss men around the way they feel men have bossed women around for many years. And there's some truth to that, yes. You know, but it's funny how it works, right? Because what is going to happen is the men who have been bossed around by the other men, yes, by the other men in charge, you know, the non-secret, the guys like me are going to be victimized, basically. And the guys in secret societies and their bloodlines, their descendants, they're going to have it pretty well while this, you know, paradigm shift takes place. You know, they're going to fucking be right there with them, bossing people around. They're never going to get back at the quote-unquote patriarchy. They're going to just merge with it. And when you really look at it, you're not going to see much difference. The only difference is the social and economic and political equality of women, which is what feminism on record is about, right? It's going to be socially normative to be a fucking pussy whip coward, an emasculated coward. But the same ninnies, the same rich yuppies, their children, the same type of think tank pussies, the same kind of fucking Rothschild garbage and Rockefeller filth and their buddies, the Kissinger, Zabrinskis, you're still going to see these same cowards, same Warburg type bitches, same Walton type punks, the same rich old money cowards who have intended to do this for a long time anyway. And this serves their purpose. You know, this is an unholy alliance with feminists who have recruited heavily from the unattractive women part of society. Feminists send a message out to every kind of woman to try to bring them in. There's even something called Christian feminism, even though anyone who's done the research knows that that's a contradiction. It makes no sense at all. Mainstream feminism is about destroying Christian values. especially white male Christian values. So it is, it is absolute nonsense. And I can't speak on this enough. This is one of the most important things that needs to be talked about. It ties into gang stalking. It ties into eugenics. I mean, I've been gang stalked by more attractive women than you can imagine. I can't tell whether they're in a secret society, the military, or the police, because it's like the same thing. This is the oneness they're talking about, the nomad. This is them coming together and being the same kind of lemming, robot type of person for the New World Order. Just absolute cowardice. And you hear people say, be a leader, not a follower, be yourself. These people are the opposite of that. They are the anti. They are the antagonist. They are completely adverse to that idea. They want you to be a complete cowardly bootlicker at their mercy. And they want to kind of have this kind of military conformity. That's why the military wears these uniforms, and they're kind of built the same way. They stand the same way. They line up. They're trying to destroy their individuality. And when they do it well, they're rewarded for it, right? They get in trouble less. They find it easier to do what they have to do because they're just another soldier taking orders. It's the same thing with these cowards. They're taking all the nice things from society. You look at it, the military, right? They get a discount when they go to college, and there's so many ways, right? It's easy for them to get a job. They join the police. They join mental health services. They have jobs waiting for them. Now, whether or not they deserve to have it easy or not is pretty much irrelevant. All these groups are bad for society. If it is easier for them to get money and pussy and social status, we are facing intense oppression. So at the end of the day, none of these people are concerned with what is best for humanity. They're concerned with the internal organization of America and gaming that organization, gaming the system that they're organizing people into. Okay, it is a complete disgrace. Are you fighting for honor or are you fighting for Babylon? And there are degrees of this, obviously. Some people are hardcore American flag tattoo, police fucking LAPT tattoo. Some people are hardcore cowards, hardcore conformists, and they maintain that ideology their entire lives because that's how they know how to exist. It is much easier to be a coward and to go along than to be a revolutionary, not a gang member or a criminal or a thief. Okay, you could argue that that's the easy way out. But a revolutionary who doesn't conform. That is the highest level of manning up. So you have the people with the most manhood. And if they happen to be attractive and smart like I am, the top martial artists like I am, you see, my example is very straightforward. Women themselves assigned the number 8.4 when they rated me. Multiple women, right? They themselves said that. They themselves did the feminist movement. I didn't do it. They did it. They themselves have made it very clear that yes, naturally I would have the best of the best. But because they have inferior judgment, that they themselves as a group and as individuals have decided to sabotage my love life. And this is inferior activities. Okay? These groups are inferior. You have to see that. It's like there's a lower path, there's a higher path. There's an inferior path. There's a superior path. These are inferior forms of life. That's what eugenics is about. Anyone who is stupid enough to fucking side with their oppressors for a few cookies and a few fucking pats on the back, gets to have it easy and reproduce with the most attractive women. While these dumb, airhead fucking morons, you have no idea how stupid these controlled opposition people are. Every day they harass me with their inferior philosophies. They say stupid shit like that's not fair. They don't have a single valid point. They just say dumb fucking kind of general statements. Just stupidity. You know, they don't even know where to start to begin to counter my argument. They say dumb shit like, well, you think you're right, but you're not. It's fucking just stupid. Can you imagine making the argument I just did as effectively as I just did, and all these pussies can say is, you think you're right, but you're not, when I on record have a higher IQ than they do, when I on record am more insightful and honorable than they are, but magically they're supposedly supposed to know something that I don't know. You see how fucking stupid that is? This is the kind of dumb, lemming, conformist garbage that I deal with. Kind of inferior fucking scum. You know, I fight for honor, sacred morality, and God. They're just Babylonian scum trying to game the system. You have no idea how despicable that is to a man of honor. You know, so we all are faced with a choice, right? What is our book? Is our book the U.S. Army Guerrilla Warfare Handbook? Are we a bunch of psyop bitches trying to game the system? Or are we going to fight for honor? We all have these choices. It's funny how on the book it says counterintelligence, right? It's kind of like if someone's intelligent enough to realize that they need to walk a higher path, right? They need to counter that intelligence. Now, obviously, that's not how they meant the word. That's not what it means to them, right? But it's funny how that wordplay works, right? Counterintelligence. It's like, you know, we got to counter the intelligent people in society, keep them in check, so we can maintain the internal organization of a bunch of insecure, feeble cowards who would be fucking slaughtered like the pussies they are, naturally. These are the kind of cowards who hid in caves and stayed alive by the skin of their fucking teeth. And then, luckily for them, the age of technology came through, and they were able to cheat their way through life. You know, what you see here is generations of people, right? There's a genetic component to things. When you look at the old money and the secret societies and their generational secret societies, these are people from generation to generation who had it easier. You know, when nature was molding the toughest men like me, like myself, they were making these pussies in secret societies, bigger pussies. They're becoming bigger, wetter, looser pussies. While people like me were becoming straight, rock-hard warriors. So when I rise as uncontrolled opposition and say, I'm the top martial arts, what, you expect these pussies who come from generations of cowardice to beat me? You expect some pussy that is dumb enough to take their side to be able to. Nobody can beat me, controlled or otherwise. But certainly no pussy-ass Freemasonic bitch, no left-right-left military coward, no fat fucking swine pigs, and no donut-guzzling fucking copper. I'm the top. Not any of you bitches. You are sissy, emasculated, cowardly human resources for a bunch of insecure, pencil dick pussies. Fuck's wrong with you? I'm fighting the New World Order the best way possible, as a Christian and addressing all the parts at once. Matthew 10:22 makes it clear you'll be hated by everyone. You need to stand firm. If you only attack some of the parts at once, you may as well not attack any of them. All you're doing is giving them a place to escape to, a place to maintain what they're doing. And in just one of those groups alone, they can maintain what they're doing. The only way to address it is to address it all at once. A lot of people don't have the heart to do what it takes. You need to inspire others to stand with you and address all these parts at once. As far as women go, I hold the entire New World Order responsible for sabotaging my love life, for hypergamy, for these inferior evolutionary processes that have to do with women and their judgment. So my question to all you females out there, because you're starting to concede my point that this is how it is either you are dumb, lemming, robot bitches who are incapable of making your own decisions. If you admit that you're lesser sex, brain-dead idiots who don't think for yourselves, I'll stop blaming you for it. Or you can admit that you do make your own decisions and you're just too dumb, selfish, and evil to make the right decision. I'm fine with it either way. Make your choice.